So I've been seeing a lot of videos on social media about people, mostly people who voted for the dictator in office, saying they don't give a shit about people having to lose their food stamps, and they don't care if these people starve, and they don't give a shit and whatever, and they can stop being lazy, even though half the people that voted for this dictator are probably on food stamps and will lose them also. And I couldn't help when I saw a comment that stated, where does the notion or belief or rumor that people on food stamps are lazy and don't work? I'm going to tell you right now that there are so many people who work but make shit because billionaires in capitalism, right? CEOs who don't want to fucking pay their people what they should be getting paid. They are on food stamps because they need to feed their families. I often wonder if these people who voted for this dictator actually know that, or they are so strapped in their own inner misery, because there's got to be a lot of deep inner misery to believe the shit and believe in the shit this dictator is doing to this country. I often wonder if they realize that they themselves will be affected by this, and not in a good way. Like, SNAP benefits feed people. It's food. I don't give a fuck how much money you make. Food is sustenance. We cannot live without it. Nobody should have to fucking starve. And these people are playing like they're celebrating the fact that people are going to starve, and they don't realize that the people that are going to starve the most are the children. This is supposed to be the party of preaching families, right? They preach so much about the family unit to their detriment, really, to their detriment, because of what goes on in their families, you find out in some news sources. And I guess that detriment includes themselves. I guess that well, obviously it does, but it includes the fact that, children are going to starve. And the screwed up part about it is they think that food banks, are going to be able to feed everyone. Yeah, food banks are great, but when the groceries are that sky high, it's hard to get enough food for everyone. And they're talking about taking food SNAP, the SNAP benefits, or what they used to call food stamps back in the day, from so many freaking people, a lot of people from November. No, I'm not going to blame what people want to blame, which is the Democrats for shutting this government. No, the dictator needed that to happen. How else would he be able to cut that shit, the SNAP benefits, to line the pockets of the billionaires? Okay, I am not on SNAP benefits. I don't think I personally have ever been on SNAP benefits. Many years ago, I tried to get on them because I was not working. I was trying to find work at the time. I was also going through a very bad episode. I was in the hospital. It was my first giant episode ever. It was a lot back in the early 2000s for me. It would take me decades, basically find myself, actually ground myself. And I'm still working on myself, but I'm nowhere near what I was way back when. But I couldn't keep a job worth shit. And it was because a lot of the anxiety. At the time, I had no idea I was neurodivergent. And there was a lot of executive dysfunction going on. And I had no idea. A lot of depression over it, shame over it. So my aunt would often say, in the meantime, can you help us by getting SNAP benefits so that they wouldn't have to do all the grocery shopping? She was correct about that. And I had too much pride. That's the truth. I didn't want to do it because of all the things they teach you about being on SNAP benefits. They teach you that you're lazy and you're horrible. And that is what I didn't want that reputation. My hair's a mess today. Sheesh. Anyway, I went eventually because she was right. I had to think about it. And I spent the whole day waiting in line. This is back after 9/11, actually. This happened not too long after 9/11. And I waited all day, and I didn't get them, because it wasn't because I wasn't accepted, or they didn't accept that or they didn't allow me to get them. It was because I walked out. And the reason I walked out is because, again, shame and pride. What I was really doing was hurting my aunts financially. You know, they have, you know, she actually, I put her through a lot back in the early days. And the reason I'm sharing this, I'm disclosing this, is because that pride was damaging. It could have really helped her out. And I wasn't working. The truth of the matter is, not everyone has the privilege I had, where my aunt was able to feed me. And I was in my freaking 20s going through all of this. Okay. Not everyone has that privilege. And I think a lot of these people who are laughing at the fact that SNAP benefits are going to be cut from so many people, especially those who are working, because there are so many people who work, like I said, who don't make nearly enough money, and that is why they get SNAP benefits. And by the way, when I say SNAP benefits, I'm not talking $500, $600 a month. I'm talking, because you're working, you might get $60. You might get $100, because they take into account what you're making, which is nowhere near survival, okay? I want people to realize that this isn't a situation where, oh well, thank goodness it's not me. This is a situation where all of us will be affected by this, one way or another. All of us know someone on SNAP benefits. So if this is gonna be the case in November, this is my idea. We should really, for the people that we know on SNAP benefits, we should start, if we can, use our privilege to send those care packages with food. It's the least we can do. I'm actually going to look up some people that I know, and I'm going to see if they need any care packages with food, because this isn't fair. It's not right to starve people, to line billionaires and elites' pockets. It's disgusting. And I think a lot of people need to realize that it's not people who aren't working. It's not just them. It's people who are, and now have to use most of their shit income, okay, we try and pay more rent, maybe mortgage, most likely rent, and try to feed their families and pay the bills, keep the lights on, keep the heat on. Anyway, just food for thought.